family of a 12-year-old girl who was brutalized by a school cop is now suing the Kenosha, Wisconsin Police Department after they say that she sustained a serious brain injury as a result of the interaction with the cop. He knelt on the student's neck for 25 seconds. And it has allegedly caused irreparable harm. Now, security footage from March of this year shows a fight breaking out between two students in the Lincoln Middle School cafeteria. And the victim here, the 12-year-old student, is one of the two that you're about to see in the video. Let's take a look and I'll describe what is happening. So, graphic warning, of course. It's never easy to watch a cop, use excessive force, especially against a 12-year-old girl. But you see the two students fighting. The cop shows up, and it's kind of hard to see. And we'll have a still image for you so you can get a better understanding of what happened. But you can see an adult man identified as Shawn Guetschow. Responding immediately to break up the altercation. He slams one girl on the ground and puts his knee on her neck as another girl is escorted away. Then he is, Kenosha police officer. He worked part-time as security for the school. He has since resigned because of backlash as a result of how he treated this 12-year-old girl. But the use of chokeholds, this is important, and there's the still frame that shows exactly what he did. Again, he knelt on her neck for 25 seconds. The use of chokeholds by police officers was also outlawed in Wisconsin in 2021 after the murder of George Floyd, except in life-threatening instances or cases of self-defense. So with that said, the girl allegedly is now dealing with serious brain injuries. The girl's father, Jarrell Perez, said his daughter is seeing a neurologist following the incident. He also called for criminal charges against the cop for using the banned restraint method on his daughter. The family intends to sue the officer as well as the chief of police, city clerk, and Kenosha Unified School District for the maximum allowable compensation and punitive damages following the incident, which they say led to the brain injury. The outcome and consequence of which is still unknown at her young age. So he is still employed by the police department, although he did step down from his part-time security role at the school.
Yeah, so that guy's working the streets. So his excuse was he blacked out. Okay, well, I have two things to say about that. First of all, I have to be honest, I'm super skeptical about the blackout excuse. I've known a lot of folks in my life who use the blackout excuse, and every time it's because they did something incredibly stupid and wrong, and they're like, oh, I blacked out. Okay, in the case of a cop, does that make it better? Do we want a cop out there who every once in a while blacks out and slams 12-year-old girls to the ground and puts his knee on their neck until they might have a traumatic brain injury? Could that happen again and again and again if he's got a history of blacking out? Look, I'd like to get him help if it's true. There's almost no chance that it's true. And so. But
according to the police department in Kenosha, Wisconsin, yeah, they do think that bodes well for their police force.
Yeah, of course they do, because they don't care about crimes. They care about protecting the police, that's it. I mean, look, here in LA, we have crime all over the streets. It's crazy, right? Cops barely show up. But right. A 12-year-old girl, that's easy. Come on, let's just slam her to the ground and then all protect the cops, all protect the cops. Protect the citizens, never. But the cops, they gotta be protected from 12-year-olds.
What happened to just breaking the students up? Like, I mean, I was in high school not that long ago, fights would happen. No one was placed in a chokehold, no one was knelt on. We didn't even have a cop, but we did have security, right? I don't think it was a member of LAPD or anything like that. He was just, let's separate the two. Go to the counselor's office, deal with suspension, expulsion, whatever consequence that comes along with being physically violent on campus, and call it a day. Why did he have to be so violent toward a 12-year-old girl?
No, I don't think there should ever be cops on a school. I know that there's other factors and people get upset, but no, look guys, a teacher would never do that. Like if a teacher went and slammed your kid and then knelt on their neck until they passed out or whatever, everybody would be outraged. But you put a cop there, it's fine. Go assault all the kids you want. Because we're used to being brutalized by our own security. We pay for that security, and then they only protect rich people and brutalize the rest of us. So a lot of people will see that video and go, oh, that's a shame it's a 12-year-old, but I get it. I get it. Well, you put imagine a dentist came by and he was in the school and he saw the fight and he slammed the girl on the ground and knelt on her neck. You're like, what the hell is that dentist doing? Arrest the guy. Oh, it's a cop? Totally fine. Put him back on the force.
I can't believe he thought I blacked out was a good excuse.
Dude, you got a gun and a badge. I don't want you blacking out. Now, that's not difficult to understand, right? But the police union was like, no way, no way. Who cares about the citizens? Who cares about your damn children? We only protect ourselves. Yeah, so he'll be fine. There's no way they'll fire him.
No, they're not gonna fire him. But the citizens of Kenosha, Wisconsin will very likely have to pay a massive settlement to the victim and her family. Likely, very likely. That's what happens over and over again. The taxpayers end up facing the consequences for what their cops do.
Why don't you take it out of the police budget instead?
Exactly.
I mean, they never do their job anyway, right? And they always brag about not doing their job. They're like, oh yeah, we did a worker slowdown after George Floyd. See if you like that. We didn't respond to any crimes. You should all be fired then. Who gets to show? Do you get to show up at work and go, I'm doing a slowdown, boss. I'm not gonna do my work.
I know.
Everybody else would get fired, but the cops, nope, you can't fire them because they only represent themselves, but not the rest of us. So there's never any consequences for the bad guys. The citizens, Anna's exactly right. You're gonna be punished for what the cop did, and the cop will never, ever, ever have to pay for it because the #1 role is protect themselves and the super rich, and that's it. That's what, cops are just private security for the rich and for themselves in this country. Get used to it. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.